And welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news as we talk the ongoing frustration for Cristiano Ronaldo. Stop it, Ralph, it says on the thumbnail. What does he want him to stop? He wants him to stop dropping him. We're talking about that. We'll also be talking about mainstream media criticism. An ex-United legend blaming Paul Pogba for last night's, and amongst others, and also some blame for Maguire and Scott McTominay from an ex-England legend as well. We'll also be talking about another player heading out the door, more money in the pocket for the Glazers that they haven't had to spend as well, and positives in a time of negatives, as well as Henderson updates and Anthony Martial speaking about his future as well. So lots to get into in the show tonight. Get your questions in. We are a little bit early tonight because I'm doing a bit of a scouting mission. We're 7 o'clock live, but I'm doing a bit of a scouting mission because I'm going to do Spurs against Southampton watch along on That's Football straight after this. 1, to take a look at Southampton ahead of the weekend, and 2, to take a look at Spurs and no European football for them. Can they really threaten us for that 4th spot? But first of all, before all of that, it is that time. It's Manscaped time. Valentine's Day. We should kick in with some music. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you with the best tools to get your balls ready for the special occasion. This Valentine's Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code UNITEDSTAND for 20% off plus free shipping. So if you still have a jungle in your pants, then have a good listen to what I've got to tell you about the Manscaped 4.0. A new multifunctional on and off switch for those people who like to travel, a travel lock. Perfect. The ability to turn the LED light on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Also, the new trimmer allows you to customise your length. Not that length, but the length around it, grooming, trimming. You can customise your trim. It's sleek with a 2-toned matte finish and also has a very nice hot foil stamped chrome Manscaped logo. Very nice. And of course, its wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help boost battery life. It's not going to help boost any other life. It's for trimming. It's not for length or longer performance in anything else, except for the hair around there. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger, basically. Alongside the new Lawnmower 4.0, Manscaped have launched their brand new performance package where you can get the Lawnmower 4.0, obviously, the Weed Whacker, the Crop Preserver, the Crop Reviver, very comfy boxer shorts, and a travel bag. And because Manscaped care about everyone that watches the United Stand, they're giving you a huge 20% off, plus free shipping when you use the code UNITEDSTAND at checkout. Checkout. No chicks. Checkout. So what are you waiting for? Head over to manscaped.com and you can get your 20% off plus free worldwide shipping. And if you want to know what the Weed Whacker is, I love it. I do. Very good. Thanks to Manscaped. Okay, right, let's get on with the show. We're going to start off talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. So, look, frustrated Ronaldo is... Look, I do think that sometimes people want to turn it into a soap opera or The Godfather or something like that. Of course Ronaldo's frustrated. I've seen the pictures. He went straight down the tunnel. He wasn't very happy at the end of the game. Of course he's frustrated. Rangnick dropped him. I said this when the team news came in yesterday. He's dropped him. He's absolutely dropped him. And he's not going to be happy with that. Would you be happy with that? I don't think McTominay would be happy if he was dropped. Rashford hated being dropped. This is Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players that's ever lived. We've dropped him. He didn't play well on Friday night and he's been dropped for the next game. He'll be bloody fuming inside. And you'd want him to be. It's almost like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Oh, look at Ronaldo. He looked really frustrated and pissed off at the end of the game. Well, that's because he is. He was frustrated when he got subbed off against Brentford as well. He wants to perform. He wants to be the best. He's used to being the best. And he can't do that from the bench. So I can't be bothered with any of these sensationalist headlines about Ronaldo being frustrated. Oh, look at him. He's acting like a spoilt child. Oh, he's so petulant. What do you want him to do? Sit there with a big smile on his face, not giving a crap, thinking I'm earning £500,000 a week? Of course he's frustrated. There's nothing wrong with him being frustrated because it shows that he cares. But the reality is, he won't want Rangnick to keep doing this. And I think, have we got to the point now where, it doesn't work? Basically, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't work. We dropped Ronaldo yesterday. Some of you thought it was a good idea. Some of you thought it was a bad idea. Ultimately, Ronaldo came on, didn't play particularly well. Cavani played for, 70 minutes, didn't play particularly well. So we would have lost nothing by actually starting Ronaldo. Maybe if Ronaldo had started, he might have scored. Maybe he wouldn't. But the point is, your default position is to start Ronaldo. You decide to make a big move and drop him. Cavani doesn't do very well, and then Ronaldo comes on and doesn't do very well and ends the game frustrated. What did you achieve? Well, you dropped 2 points and you frustrated both strikers. So it actually hasn't worked out very well at all, has it? So I think that... excuse me, that weed whacker's played with my nose a little bit. I think that what it's done is, in my mind, and it's only my opinion, I go back to... Look, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did it against Everton. It's interesting that in the 2 biggest games we've dropped Ronaldo this season, we've dropped 4 points. We did it at home against Everton, which was when that famous clip of Sir Alex Ferguson talking to Khabib said, "You don't drop your best players," talking about Ronaldo. We drew against Everton. He did it yesterday against Burnley. We should have won both those games. We've ended up drawing both of them. So maybe there's a bit of a lesson there. Dropping Ronaldo doesn't tend to work. I don't know whether it gives the team a hangover, but it doesn't seem to work. All our players should have been frustrated after the game, apart from needing to clap the fans. I wish all the players were like Ronaldo, says Nick97. You know, this clapping the fans, it should happen because our fans are absolutely fantastic and they go home and away and they follow the club and, you know, great support that Manchester United have. And, you know, you should be clapping the fans. I do agree with that. But I tell you what, I just find, you know, positives in a defeat. I mean, it wasn't a defeat. I keep calling it a defeat. Positives in that result yesterday, I don't want to discuss them. Football is a results business. It's always been a bloody results business. And I'm tired of talking about positives. You know, if Pogba was so bloody good, if Sancho was so bloody good, if Bruno was so bloody good, why didn't we win the game? We're a team. We're only as good as our weakest part. And at the moment, some of our weakest parts are costing us winning games. And that's the positive, is I don't care how bad we played last night as long as we win the game. We didn't play well enough last night. But back on Ronaldo, look, I don't believe that we're going to avoid the conversations about Ronaldo's going to leave in the summer. I can only tell you that those are purely speculation points. There is no way Ronaldo has made a decision about his future now. He'll be very frustrated, but he'll have been very frustrated for most of this season. I think he probably realised he made a mistake around the first week in September. You know, probably his first training session, he probably thought, shit. You know, I don't think anybody looking at United from the outside realises how bad it is until it becomes your everyday life. And as a player, Ronaldo will be fully aware. You know, he's played, 3 months under Ole, which was a bloody nightmare. He's had the last 2 months of dressing room upheaval. He's had all the bad results. You know, he will fully be aware that this was a mistake. The options for Ronaldo were come back to Manchester United or go to Manchester City. And whatever you think, he's a bloody legend for coming to United because we don't know why he came to United. We think it was because Sir Alex got involved and said, look, you can't go to Man City. But from a footballing point of view, even if he'd flopped at Man City, which I doubt he would have done, I think he'd have had 30 goals by now and he'd be heading towards a Premier League title and maybe a Champions League. So there's no way that Cristiano Ronaldo is not going to be frustrated. I don't know why it's a headline. I don't know why people are bothered about it. I embrace the fact that his frustration is growing because, you know, is your frustration not growing? But what I think, look, I'm not here to tell Rangnick what to do and he will do his own thing. As much as, you know, the video this afternoon was fantastic, analysing the problem between Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire mustn't start on Saturday. I think Cristiano Ronaldo has to start on Saturday because I don't think dropping Ronaldo was ever a good idea. I just don't think he's the player at this point of his career who's going to embrace it and go, yeah, I'm happy to take one for the team. I think people don't mind being... I don't think any decent player ever wants to be dropped. I don't think they even want to be rested. But I think they will take being rested if the team is playing well and you're being rested for an FA Cup third round against Morecambe. You don't want to be rested in a key game away to Burnley. And there is no way he wanted to be rested or dropped. Well, he wasn't rested, he was dropped. And I think Rangnick got it wrong yesterday. You know, he said he wanted Cavani to be more mobile and everything. And yeah, Cavani did run around a lot, but... You know, you could have got a Garlo back to do that. You know, is that what we're doing now? We're dropping the better player to put somebody who runs around a lot. I mean, is that not what Ollie did with McTominay and Fred? So, look, for the first half, it nearly worked. But Cavani wasn't really in that game from start to finish. So basically, you're saying Ronaldo's too lazy to run around like that, which I don't think he is. But look, yesterday's gone. Ronaldo starts against Southampton, and I think we need to stop dropping him, in my opinion, because I just think it's going to create more problems than it is. Jaden says, has Woodward left yet? Well, apparently so. Apparently he's gone. I mean, I don't know whether he has. Thomas says Ronaldo wasn't dropped. Well, Thomas, I think you need to read Ralph Rangnick's comments and understand what he was actually talking about, that he dropped Cavani. I mean, I don't know why. Again, I don't know why people get so het up about it. People get so protective. I love Ronaldo, but he was dropped. It was pure and simple. He was dropped. If you can't deal with it, maybe football's not for you, because you know what? It's Manchester United, not Ronaldo United. It's Manchester United. He was dropped. Read what Rangnick said. Simple as that. Anyway, look, just on last night, I wanted to bring something else into the show as well. I saw some comments from Peter Schmeichel saying that Pogba was out of the game for large portions of the game. The last 20 minutes, there was no pressure. There was no questions asked. I don't think Paul Pogba deserved any criticism. I don't think Paul Pogba deserved any criticism from yesterday. I'm surprised that Peter Schmeichel brought Paul Pogba into the conversation. I know it will irritate some people. I know some people will quite like it. But when criticising United's performance yesterday, I really have to step in and say that I don't think Paul Pogba's name should have been individualised again. I had to check it wasn't Graham Souness. I mean, look, I thought Peter Schmeichel was right. I think in the last 20 minutes, there wasn't any urgency. There wasn't any imagination. There wasn't any pressure. We didn't feel like we were hungry enough to go and win it in the last 20 minutes. And yeah, Pogba was one of those players. But, Pogba's only playing his second game in, 4 months? I was surprised he stayed on the pitch as long as he did. I think to individualise Paul Pogba was a bit odd. I thought there was a lot of other performances that were worse. And I don't think to individualise Paul Pogba was right. But I did agree with what Alan Shearer said. And to be honest, it wasn't something I'd really massively picked up on until I went and watched the goal again. Where basically Alan Shearer was saying that Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire were embarrassing on Weghorst. Two of them go together and neither of them get the ball. And I was like, I don't remember that at all. So I watched it back again this afternoon. And I remember Weghorst sending Maguire back to Leicester. He spun him round, didn't he? But I completely missed the fact that they sandwich him. Maguire comes from here, McTominay comes from here, and he sends McTominay back to wherever he's from, and he sends Maguire back to Leicester. It's like that neither of them. You could foul him, you could double tackle him, one of you could tackle him. I can't believe that my brain hadn't registered McTominay comes in from the other way as well, and it is embarrassing. Unfortunately, you've got to add McTominay into that, which I still believe is exclusively down to Harry Maguire. I know some people want to blame Luke Shaw for keeping him on side, and some people think that David De Gea should have rushed out. I mean, I don't know how many people have actually been to goalkeeping school, but rushing out in those circumstances, you could do that, but you might have given him an easy chance by rushing out. So, do you think the bench seats are more comfortable at Everton rather than Crystal Palace? This lad can't catch a break, says Carl. I don't think he played particularly well. It'd be interesting to see if he starts against Everton, against Leeds, Donny, hopefully. Maguire and Wan-Bissaka for 130 million are the result when you don't have a quality director of football and instead give clueless managers the freedom. Transfer flops have been since 2013, says Dan. And I said it yesterday, Cavani can only run more than, and that's all he will do. Ralph said it would be months, and we're seeing improvements regardless of results, says Stuart Walker. I don't think we are seeing improvements, Stuart, because I think that the most important thing is results, and I don't think we are seeing improvement. I don't. I think the result last night was abysmal. I thought the result against Middlesbrough was abysmal. I don't actually put any blame on Rangnick at the moment. I think some people are being a little bit thick about this. I think they are, well, I don't want to put any blame on Rangnick, so I've got to put praise on the team and say that, we've been unlucky and there is improvement. There's not improvement when we're not winning games. There isn't. I don't want to be that club, because Arsenal did this. Oh, we play good football, but we don't win anything. We need to perform better. Drawing with Burnley yesterday was just inexcusable. And you know what? I looked at the goals again today, and we're moaning about them not being given. To be honest with you, Pogba did foul him. That didn't even go to VAR. The linesman saw that, so I don't know why we're moaning about that. And the Varane goal, which looked very good, Maguire is offside and then fouls Rodriguez anyway. So, you know what? I think actually, in the heat of the moment, I thought they were both goals, but looking at them pragmatically today, I don't think we really think we have anything to complain about. And we didn't have any other clear-cut chances. So, you know what? There is improvement, but we're drawing to Burnley away, who are bottom of the league. And that isn't improvement to me. And I don't put any blame on Rangnick. I think it's very easy to put the blame where it needs to be. The players last night, the first half was a good half. We were 1-0 up. We could have been 2 or 3-0 up. There's no way Rangnick told them to perform like they did for 45 minutes and then sit on their arse in the first 15 minutes of the second half, which they did. It's a weak mentality and an inability to be consistent, which has been around at that football club before Ollie, before Mourinho, before Van Gaal. So I don't blame Rangnick. I'm not saying he's not the right man for the future, but he's going to struggle to improve this team with the content of players that he has at his disposal. If yesterday we thought Maguire was bad, rethink what was a Leicester. Crap, useless, or whatever other adjective is an understatement, says Mojo. Look, a lot of people are talking about... Josh Hugh says, Mark, look at Ralph's points in the last 8 versus Ollie. But and that's why you're an idiot, mate. I mean, I'm not calling you an idiot, Josh, but, that's what I mean is an idiot. Like, I think people are being idiotic about this. Because if you're comparing Rangnick's points to Ollie... I can't help you. I can't help you. Why are we comparing Rangnick's points accumulation to Ollie? Like, that is some of the worst football I've ever seen from Manchester United. What we need to compare Rangnick to something better. I mean, is that what we are now? Is that like, oh, he's got more points than Ollie, so he must be the next Man United manager and everything's okay? I'm very much of the opinion that it won't matter. I like Rangnick. Everybody knows I like Rangnick. I know a lot of people like Rangnick. I've not made my mind up whether I want him to be the coach yet, but I do like Rangnick. But what I'm saying is, he won't succeed. We need to make bigger decisions than giving Rangnick the job. I think some people don't understand football very well and go, I've seen improvement, Mark. I think Rangnick's the man. And I go, I think you're an idiot. Because the reality is, you're basically saying, I've seen improvement, Mark. I think Rangnick's the man. For what? To take us where we need to be. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Why? Well, it's not Rangnick's fault, mate. Like, he needs the players to do it. Bring Jurgen Klopp in, bring Pep in, and have the trilogy. Let them all have a crack. They won't win anything. It doesn't matter how good Rangnick is. It doesn't matter how big the improvement is. It will never be where it needs to be with those players. If you watched the game last night, go and watch it again and tell me what Rangnick got wrong. 45 minutes, the players listened to him. They were unable to do it for 90 minutes because they're not good enough. So where's he taking us? It doesn't matter who the manager is of this football club. Maybe Rangnick is the right man. But if he doesn't get the freedom to remove the players, he won't go where he needs to be. Last night was the prime example that we have got players in that club who are going to sinkers. Doesn't matter who your manager is. He's got to be given the authority to improve the team before he can take us where he needs to go. There will be improvements under Rangnick because he's a much better coach than Ollie, but he's never going to get us where we need to be. We need to clear house. That's what we need to do. Elijah says, Mark, if Ronaldo is checked out, you can't blame him. The players have thrown him under the bus. The media constantly attack him, and so many fans love to hate him. This club does not deserve him. I mean, Elijah, I don't really want to do a show about Cristiano Ronaldo, but I can sort of throw Paul Pogba into this, David De Gea into this, Bruno Fernandes into this. There is a weird mentality amongst a minority of football fan that become obsessed with these players in a very hateful way. Like, there was a tweet last night about David De Gea, and it was like, it had thousands of retweets, and they're all in the replies going, yeah, Dino would have been out for that. Oh, he's cost us so many goals this season. Another stupid mistake. He's always costing us goals. And I'm like, made more saves than anybody in the Premier League, any goalkeeper. Player of the year for United, hands down. But it's like, there is a weird cult around it. And there's one around Ronaldo. And there's one around Pogba. And there's one around Bruno. I just don't get it. And it's very hateful. But the world is full of fools, as they say. And, but I just don't get it. I don't get it. I can accept when somebody has a bad game, but I don't get that. And you can't get your hat on it when Cristiano... The thing about Ronaldo, and I said it last night, the thing about Ronaldo I just can't get is that I see United fans who 6 months ago were talking about something else, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're a United fan, you can tell. I agree with them about that. And then 6 months later, they're like, get Ronaldo out of the club, he's a joke, he's an absolute joke, get him out, don't want him at the club. Oh, I'm so glad he's been dropped, about time, can't stand him, sell him in the summer. And I'm like, oh God, how did you start supporting Manchester United? Please, can you educate me on what you think Man United is, why you support Man United, and why you're hating on Cristiano Ronaldo? Because I don't understand the correlation between those three things. Because I know why I support Manchester United. I support Manchester United because of my granddad, because he was obsessed about, Duncan Edwards and the Busby Babes, and then His daughter, my mum, was the same about George Best, and I was brought up on United. I know the story of United. It's the greatest football story ever. And then I was fortunate enough in my formulative football years to be, witness some of the greatest football I've ever seen with Manchester United and Sir Alex Ferguson. And Ronaldo was a big part of that. He's a legend of the club. And those sort of players always deserve a little bit more patience anyway. But I just don't get how you can hate on Cristiano Ronaldo and be a Manchester United fan. And I've seen people do it. I've seen people do it on videos. And I'm like, when did you start supporting United then? I can't get my head around it. I can get my head around drop him. He wasn't good enough against Middlesbrough. I don't agree with that, but I can get my head around that. But I can't get my head around the hate. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't like saying to somebody, you're not a United fan. I think that's a very blunt thing to do. But I'd love to know what their background about being a United fan is, because if you're a proper United fan, you wouldn't be hating on Cristiano Ronaldo. You wouldn't be hating on David De Gea either. They are fantastic servants of this club, and they're far from washed up. Strip Maguire of the captaincy and give it to Bruno or Lindelof and let Maguire focus on his football, then maybe he might improve, says Joel Morris. I think Joel's right. I think that's a very educated and clever, intelligent thing to do that many of you have been speaking about for many months. The club won't do it because commercially it's quite damaging to strip your captain of the captaincy. In a footballing sense, it's like night to day. You're not performing very well, I'm taking the captaincy off you. But in a brand, it's a bad idea to take the captaincy off someone because it's perception, isn't it? Now, you look at Zuma, he's had his Adidas boot deal taken off him because of what he did with the cap. Well done, Adidas. That's got to happen. That's a very easy, blunt way of a brand saying we don't like what you've been up to and we're going to move away from that. If Man United take the captaincy off Harry Maguire, then that's quite a brutal, ruthless action. And, as a brand that wants to say, look at us, we're inclusive, we're friendly, we're a nice brand, you don't want to be doing... This is what I mean. This is, again, what Manchester United have become. They're so fixated on how they appear to their brands that, they don't want to be doing things like taking the captaincy off Harry Maguire. If they did do it, Sir Alex Ferguson made Robin Van Persie to pass every ball. Ronaldo must play the same. Mr. Manager must act ASAP. I don't know what you're talking about, Akiet. Robin Van Persie definitely didn't pass every ball. I don't know what season you were watching. That year we won the title. How can Maguire justify his 80 million a year? Like you said, he's slower than a rusty bike. That's been left out for a year. New DM and CDM for the summer, says Apollo. I think we need a new centre-back. I do. But look, on the captaincy, just very quickly... who would I give the captaincy to? Well, look, I think you've got a few options. I think you've got Bruno Fernandes, David De Gea, Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, look, I'm going to make people laugh here, and I know Paul said it a few weeks ago, but, I heard Scott McTominay after the game yesterday, and I think I gave McTominay an average 6 yesterday, even though he disappeared again like he did against Middlesbrough in the second half. I didn't realise he could have done something about the goal as well, but I still want to put that on Maguire. If Scott McTominay came out after the game and said 4th place isn't good enough, we've got to be winning trophies. I think if McTominay had some ability, he would be one of my contenders for captain because he definitely understands it. He talks the talk, he knows what it's all about, he's energetic, he tries. It's just an ability gap with him. You couldn't ever give him the captaincy when he's not proved he's a first teamer yet. So I would just give it to Cristiano Ronaldo. At the end of the day, you know what? It goes back to what I was saying before. Ralph, stop it. Stop dropping Ronaldo. I know you might want to, and you are the manager, and we've got to respect that. But we've got to go all in or all out with Maguire, with Ronaldo. It's a bit like a game of poker. Stop messing around, folding, and hanging around. Have you got a good hand or haven't you? Are we playing the game or aren't we? Roll the dice or don't roll the dice. And I think with Ronaldo, we need to go all in or all out. We can't do we're going to drop you a bit now and get you angry and this, that and the other. And I think with Ronaldo, one of the most decorated footballers in world history, without a shadow of a doubt, and a proven leader. And I just think we need top 4. We could do a lot worse. I mean, look, Maguire's going to be dropped. Well, I presume he's going to be dropped. We're not stripping him of the captaincy. You can't be the captain if you're not on the pitch. That's how you solve the problem. Some people say take the captaincy off him and let him just play at centre-back. We don't even need to do that. This is not something that needs to worry Manchester United. Just drop him. Watch my video from this afternoon. You could put Lindelof there, you could put Bailly there, you could try Jones there. He needs dropping for a few games. Problem solved. Who's going to be a captain? Give it to Cristiano Ronaldo. Call him into the office tomorrow. Say, look, you're going to be the captain from now on. You're going to have it for a few games. I'm not going to drop you, but I need you to deliver. I need you to lead this team. And I just go all in with that. And I know some people won't agree with that, but there's no way he's finished. And if we can get him anywhere near his best, we'll storm it to top 4. So I would put Ronaldo as captain, because you know what? What I haven't seen from Ronaldo this season, because he's not been captain, is when Greenwood or Rashford are shooting and they're not putting the cross in, you see him flapping around and saying like this, like Cavani does, and they get frustrated. If he's the captain, he's got every right to go over to Rashford when he shoots from a stupid angle and say, put the cross in next time, and actually be a leader. And I think that I would just give it a go. I'd give it a go, because what have we got to lose? We're not stripping anybody of the captaincy if we drop the player that deserves to be dropped, and I'd give it to Ronaldo. Because you know what, as well, if Ronaldo's starting, Bruno Fernandes can't be his captain. He's not his captain. Who is his captain? No one's going to be his captain anyway, so just bloody give it to him, I think. Varane must be crying in the locker room, gone from playing with Sergio Ramos to Harry Maguire, says the Honest Tiger. And what's the point in giving Ronaldo the captaincy when he might leave in the summer? Personally think Bruno would be better, says Alfred III. But that's like saying, what's the point in picking Paul Pogba when he's going to leave in the summer? Oh, let's just pick Fred and mess up top 4. I mean, I think it says it in the title, Pogba Rangnick Saviour. I know we've only seen Pogba a couple of games, but that's Pogba on a, probably about 70% fit. He's going to get fitter and fitter and fitter as long as he avoids injury. Let's not give Ronaldo the captaincy because he might leave in the summer. Let's give Ronaldo the captaincy because he'll probably get his top 4, then he won't leave in the summer. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me, but, as I say, if you think we shouldn't give him the captaincy because he might leave in the summer, let's not pick Paul Pogba then because he's leaving in the summer. I don't agree with looking at the summer anyway. I know the club want us to look at the summer. Oh, we didn't buy anybody in January because we're buying in the summer. Nonsense. The Southampton game is the most important game for us. And then it's Brighton, and then it's Leeds, and then it's Watford and Atletico Madrid. We've got to go into the immediate future, and we've got to use what we can. Lingard might be gone in the summer. Use him. I don't think he looked particularly good last night, but you never know. He might come off the bench and score a winner against Watford, in which case, we've used him. He's off in the summer. It doesn't really matter. I saw an article with João Felix today saying that Bruno is someone he admires. Just reminded me outside the social media hate. Top players respect him, says Darren S. I think if Bruno Fernandes was at Liverpool or Manchester City, he'd be a better player. I think if Marcus Rashford was at Liverpool or Man City, he'd be a better player. I think if I think if Pogba was there or Ronaldo was there, our biggest and I don't think they'd be as active on their social media, because I think Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola would have a word with them and say, look, I know social media is important to you, and there's a lot of players in here that use their social media, but we're not that club. I'm not interested in commenting on absolutely everything that's going on to boost your social media. I'm interested in you being a footballer. Focus on being a footballer, and I will develop you and make you a better footballer. Look what will happen with Diaz. Look what's happened with Jota. Look what's going to happen with Alvarez. Look what's happened with Sterling. Klopp and Pep get players and turn them into better players. Is Bruno Fernandes a better player than he was when he came here 2 years ago? No. Is Harry Maguire a better player than he was when we bought him 2.5 years ago? Is Wan-Bissaka? Is Rashford? No. We don't develop players, and I really keep saying this, and I know a lot of you agree, we don't develop players. We've got one of the biggest squads in world football, and you can't tell me 3 players that have developed in the last 2.5 years. Even Mason Greenwood, before what happened, didn't really develop, and he went from what? 18 to 20 or something like that, and didn't develop. He was still the same player he was in the youth setup. Dangerous off either feet, but he didn't learn to pass and move. He didn't learn about positional sense. He was just the same raw talent. We don't develop players. We've probably got a manager now that, given time, can develop them. But, the question was about Bruno being respected by João Felix. I mean, he's still a good player, but he's lost in this bubble. So many of our players are lost in this bubble. I said it this morning. If you didn't hear it, I can give you some more examples as well. Again, it amazes me that Ruben Diaz has got 300,000 followers on Twitter, but Harry Maguire's got 1.8 million followers on Twitter. How do you get followers on Twitter when you're not as good as Ruben Diaz? It's because Ruben Diaz isn't really bothered about his Twitter. And Harry Maguire obviously is, because the club is. You know, these things need calling out. Manchester United players have got way more followers on their socials than players that are way better than them. Is that not a lesson on two things? One, our players are too focused on social media, because we know they are. We've won today, look at me, winning team, this, that and the other. We've lost today, we'll go again. Everything is about perception on social media. Players at other clubs aren't that arsed. And the second point is, clubs aren't arsed, apart from Man United, who've probably got people telling people how to be big on social media because it helps them. Because if United are doing a brand deal with somebody and then they go to Harry Maguire, can you retweet it? That's another 1.7 million. So when they're going to a brand, they can go, well, we've got coverage of such and so many million, but then we've got Ronaldo, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw. Their social reach is another 100 million. And that's all part of the package available to you when you sponsor Manchester United. And that's why they're doing it. It's all about the money. It all comes from the people at the very top. So, you know, I think Bruno Fernandes is I think Bruno Fernandes, amongst probably 4 or 5 other players at the club, just want to win at football. But I think he's joined the wrong club. Bruno Fernandes would have been far better going to Liverpool than Manchester United, because they want to win things. And at United, we want to make money. And he's not developed, unfortunately. Again, I mean, Bruno's had a good career at United, but I think he could have been a lot better than he has been. Because the club just doesn't fit players that want to develop and win, which is very, very sad. Interestingly enough, just a couple of things as well. Anthony Martial was speaking about Barcelona and Juventus speaking to his agent about going there on loan in January. He said about Manchester United, look, I've got a contract till 2024, which is 2 years away, so we'll see what happens. But right here, right now, I'm at Saviour, and I've come here because the opportunity is for me to play in every game. So, and he said opportunity. He said, I'm not going to start every game, but the opportunity is there. And also quite an interesting story around Dean Henderson, that apparently he was going to go to Newcastle and Dubravka was going to come to Manchester United in a loan deal, but Dubravka didn't want to come and be understudy to David De Gea, so it didn't happen, and that Dean Henderson is now looking to leave again in the summer. I mean, I think Dean Henderson's overhyped, to be honest. I'm prepared to be proven wrong, but I think Dean Henderson is just another Harry Maguire, another, you know, English player that's overhyped, and he does need to leave because he does need to play football. But I can't believe that some people actually thought that this was the player that should be taking David De Gea's spot. I don't think he's. I think Ramsdale's probably better than him. So, you know, at the end of the day, he needs to get a move, doesn't he? But also, talking about moves, Pereira is going to go to... Where's Pereira? I know he's in Brazil. I always forget the club. I'm tempted to say Palmeiras, but I think it's Flamengo. He's going to go for 10.5 million euros, so that's about 8 million quid. So it's another 8 million quid for Manchester... Well, for the Glazers, isn't it? It's a nice another 8 million pounds for the Glazers. So there you go. But I've just got to shout this out. You'll quite like this. James, I think it was James Linus, sent me this message about this today, and he said, "I like your analogies, Mark. I've got one for you here. If you're running a chip shop, and people are constantly complaining on TripAdvisor and review sites about how horrible your chips are and they taste like cardboard, that's quite damaging when you're a fish and chip shop. But if you're selling Coke out the back door, and you're making a lot more money than you're making from the chips, you're really not going to give a shit about what people say about your chips. And that Coke can be the illegal Coke, or it can be the drink Coke. But the point still remains that it's a very good point. And well done, James. And you've had a shout out as an analogy on the United stand, because I actually really liked it. I think it's very, very true. Manchester United are about football, and we're being criticised constantly because we're nowhere near titles and we're playing crap football. But behind the scenes, they're making more money than they've ever made. So do you think they really care about what people say about Man United's football when they're making loads of money in a different way? And taking it back to the chip shop, a chip shop's known for selling chips. Everyone says your chips are rubbish. You're getting loads and loads of criticism. People are very angry. But out the back door, you're selling something else and you're making more money than the chips will ever make you. So it's a very good one, and it makes exact sense as to what is going on at United. We are a football club, and we're getting criticised because of bad football. But behind the scenes, we're making more money than has ever been made. And that's why the owners are happy and the board are happy. And this will continue. Anyway, we are now going to move over to United. No, we're going to go to That's Football because I'm going to be live there in 5 minutes. Tottenham against Southampton. We're playing Southampton on Saturday lunchtime. And obviously Spurs have got an opportunity to level up on points with us tonight with 2 games in hand. So it's a massive game in the top 4 race. 1, because we're playing Southampton on Saturday. 2, because Spurs are a direct competitor. It's a bit of a scouting job with Goldbridge. Tune into That's Football. I'll be live with you there in a couple of minutes' time. We can continue the chat on there. Hopefully we're not going to be talking about this Spurs team looks really good and we're screwed. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see as well how Southampton set up. Please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. And of course, I've got a big surprise for you tomorrow morning as well on the morning show. Don't miss the morning show tomorrow morning. You're going to enjoy it. Oh, I've just turned that on. That's not my big surprise. Manscaped, links in the chat. 20% off with the code United Stand. Check it out. Trim the grass to make your yard look bigger. Fantastic products. Big shout out to Manscaped. I know loads of people are getting them. I'm getting constant messages from my mates saying they're really good. I don't really want to picture it, and thankfully they don't send me any pictures. But links in the chat for that. And I'll see you over on That's Football in a mo. Speak to you in a bit.